Welcome to the Abyss, where stories are not just escape routes, they are battlegrounds, sanctuaries, and a mirror to our very own souls. This year, I uncovered a lot of stories. Some of them shattered my expectations, others rewrote the rules of storytelling, and others just left me reeling in the best way possible. Here are my top 10 fantasy/sci-fi reads of 2024. At number 10, we have Will White's Traveler's Gate. This is what happens when an anime level power fantasy marries a tightly written character driven story. It has the wildest fight scenes and one of the best hard magic systems I've ever read in fantasy. Will White's storytelling is a lot of fun, and when I mean fun, I don't mean haha kind of fun. I mean adrenaline rush, can't put this book down type of fun. If you're kind of eyeing the Cradle series, which so far is proving to be his magnus opus, and you want to know what Will White is about, the Traveler's Gate is the best place for you to start. Traveler's Gate, get it? Coming in at number 9 is Michael Fletcher's The Storm Beneath the World. Everybody knows what to expect when you're reading a Michael Fletcher novel, right? Usually he'll just drop you in the void and let you navigate yourself through the darkness. But this time around, he lures you in. He lures you in. One moment you're thinking you're reading YA, and the next you're curled up soothing yourself in the fetal position, experiencing existential dread and emotional devastation. Oh, and did I mention the sentient teenage insectoids? Yup. The protagonists in this story are bug people. Fletcher uses this bizarre setup to discuss topics like discrimination, identity, and survival in a cruel and a different world. If you're into experimental fantasy that blends heartbreak with hope, grab this book. It will mess you up in the best way possible. At number 8, we have Arisen by Colin J.D. Crooks. This is a hidden gem that will blow your mind. Why is nobody raving about this book? It's grimdark at its hardest. Redemption, corrupt religious zealotry, and relentless action. It's like Colin Crooks channeled Michael Fletcher and Anthony Ryan to create this explosive debut novel. Every chapter hits like a hammer, and the character development, a broken soul fighting for a second chance. It's raw, brutal, and utterly addictive. Colin J.D. Crooks is a future Lord of Grimdark. And don't forget, you heard it here first on EpicTalez. You are welcome. At number 7, we have The Forgetting Moon by Brian Lee Durfee. Now, if you like the writing of Tad Williams, you're going to love this book. Brian Lee Durfee definitely wore Tad Williams on his sleeves when he wrote this book. Something that Brian Lee Durfee does really well in The Forgetting Moon is how he writes his antagonist. The first time you experience them, you're probably going to sleep with the lights on. His villains and antagonists are not just evil in that way that's enticing. They are captivating and they just leak menace. It is difficult to look away while you're experiencing this story, and the story only gets better with each book. This is epic fantasy, and it leaves me wondering why this book is not even more popular than it is right now. Do yourself a favor and grab it now. Number 6 is Gunmetal Gods by Zamil Akhtar. This book is metal, like crank up the guitars, summon the storms, and charge into battle metal. From the first page is an unrelenting whirlwind of action, betrayal, and Lovecraftian terror. The pacing is relentless, and your heart would need a breather every couple chapters. But the lore and the world building are so seamlessly woven so that you never feel lost. So trust me, if you're into grimdark epics, this is a required reading. Start with book 1 and clear your schedule for the rest of the series, just like I have. For number 5, Ash and Sand Trilogy by Richard Nell. Imagine The Road meets Bloodsong. It's bleak, brutal, and absolutely brilliant. Ruka, one of the protagonists, is a character that stays with you long after you finish reading the book. His journey is raw, harrowing, and oddly relatable, even when it feels alien. This is grimdark fantasy at its finest. It doesn't pull punches, but it hits you with some of the best character arcs and emotional payoffs. If you love stories that challenge your moral compass and questions what it is to survive, this is one that you're going to absolutely love, guaranteed. At number 4, we have The Spear Cut Through Water by Simon Jimenez. How is this Simon Jimenez debut novel? How? This book is so innovative in so many ways. It's practically a genre of itself. One moment you think it's grimdark, then all of a sudden it feels like romantasy, and then bam, it hits you with some high fantasy wonder. It's raw, emotional, and unforgettable. Jimenez is not here to play by the rules. He's here to rewrite them. My only complaint that it's a standalone. I need more of this world, I need more of his characters, and of course his mind-blowing storytelling. Coming in at number 3, it's Elric of Melneon by Michael Moorcock. Eric is not just a character, he's a legend. This albino anti-hero is the godfather of every brooding, morally conflicted protagonist that you've ever loved. He has philosophical musings for days, a cursed sword that literally feeds on souls, and an aesthetic that screams Targaryen meets Goth. If you're looking for a classic fantasy epic that feels decades ahead of its time, this is it. Moorcock's world is so rich and his ideas so big that one of his throwaway concepts or ideas can launch an entire franchise. If you're a lover of grimdark, if you're a lover of dark fantasy, you have to pick this up. Number 2 is The Dragon Bone Chair by Tad Williams. This book basically invented modern epic fantasy. You can feel its influence. It's so obvious in stories like Game of Thrones and The Wheel of Time. The prose is absolutely stunning. The world is meticulously written and the characters are profoundly human. It's a slow burn, but that's part of its magic, because you're not just reading a story, you're living it. And when it's over, you're left with a gaping void in your chest that will never be filled again. And now, the undisputed number 1 is Frank Herbert's Dune. This isn't just a book, it's a masterpiece of storytelling, world building, and philosophy. I've read it 4 times, and each time I've read it, my mind has been blown. I'm always left speechless at how Frank Herbert weaves an intricate tapestry of religion, politics, and human ambition that is timeless. If you've only seen the movies, you are missing out. The depth of this story, the sheer scope of its ideas are unparalleled. This book has inspired generations and generations of sci-fi and fantasy favorites. It's a must read, period. If you enjoyed this video, check out the video I made last year of my favorite grimdark reads of 2023. You're going to love that video as well. Like, comment, and subscribe. Stay epic, and peace.